Thank you for calling the Venue Helpline, the podcast where venues share their biggest frustrations, toughest challenges, and behind the scenes headaches. If you run a venue or work at one and you've ever thought, oh, why is this so hard? You're in the right place. Each week, you'll hear practical solutions from vetted experts who've been there, done that, and know what actually works. Because running a venue is hard enough. You shouldn't have to figure it out alone. Now, let me put you on a brief hold for the next available helper.
Hi, glad you called. It's Shannon here with the Venue Help Desk. Tell me what's going on.
Hey, I'm just feeling really frustrated lately. We're doing all the things, posting on social media, running ads, following up, but it's not translating into the kind of leads we actually want. We used to be the go-to venue in our area, always booked up, always referred by planners and photographers, but now it's like we're invisible. And what's even more frustrating is that I keep seeing these newer venues in town. Some of them haven't even been open a year, and they're getting so much buzz. They're showing up in styled shoots. They're all over Instagram. Planners are raving about them. Meanwhile, we're just over here doing the work and wondering what the heck happened. We haven't changed anything. We're still offering the same level of service, if not better, but it's like the momentum just disappeared. I don't want to chase trends or rebrand every 6 months, but I also can't just sit here and let newer places take all the bookings. What are we missing?
Oh man, this is a hard one. If you've ever looked around and thought, wait, we used to be the go to venue, what happened? You are definitely not alone. Your venue's still showing up. You're doing the work, you're hosting the events, but there's so many more newer venues that are getting all the buzz and all the leads and all the action happening locally in the industry. You really haven't gotten any worse. You've maybe gone invisible. And this is going to be an uncomfortable conversation we have to have today. See, the market has drastically evolved, but your relevance in the market maybe hasn't. So today we're going to introduce something that's going to help you understand why that happens and what to do about it. And that's called the relevant framework. So many venues confuse the activity that's happening within their venue with actual relevance in the market. They're doing more marketing, but maybe not the right kind of marketing. We haven't changed anything. Feels really safe. But in business, not changing is often a huge risk that you're taking. New venues are always going to gain attention because they naturally build relevance. It's fresh visuals, new stories, community engagement. Established venues are going to rely on their past reputation. The algorithms, the planners, the clients, they move so fast though. And so what worked 3 years ago, 2 years ago, heck, even a year ago, doesn't automatically sustain visibility for your venue now. So it feels really unfair. I know. You feel like you have to start all over again. You've already proven yourself, but staying relevant isn't about starting over. It's about staying in the conversation of what's happening. Let's walk through the entire relevant framework. Each letter of the word relevant stands for something different you need to be focused on achieving to stay relevant as a venue within the market. So let's start with the R. The R stands for reputation. Your reputation is your foundation. It's not just about how many reviews you have, it's about what's in those reviews and how current they are. Have you let that slack off? Maybe you haven't been chasing for reviews. So many venues that are booked and busy might be hosting anywhere from 40 to 60 to 100 events a year. But when you go and look at their reviews on Google and national directory platforms, they're only getting about 10 new reviews a year. That's a problem. If your most recent Google reviews are not recent at all, couples might assume that you've slowed down, that your venue's not popular anymore. So here's an easy tip in regards to your reputation. Regularly request reviews from recent clients and as well as all your vendor partners. Fresh feedback will keep you top of mind when it comes to the algorithm. Okay, the E stands for experience. It's not just about what you deliver, it's how you actually deliver it. Every interaction you have with a client and a customer, from your very first inquiry reply to the way you work with vendors on wedding day, shapes your perceived quality. how much time, energy, and effort are you putting into the customer experience and the guest experience at your venue on wedding and event day? One of the things that you can evaluate is how quick, friendly, and professional your responses are to your leads. We talk about this a lot in the Lead Conversion Lab course from Venue Help Desk. When you really focus on how you're working those leads from when they first reach out to you, whether it's by email and text or in the DMs, speed, clarity, and professionalism really matter. All of this builds confidence before couples ever visit your property. The course goes into so much depth about how to work those leads to get them to convert to tours. But the experience you're creating on how you're working a lead actually becomes part of the story that people will tell about you. Okay, next up is the L. L is about the look of your venue. First impressions are totally visual. Your website, your social media, and even your in-person presentation on a tour all communicate who you are, often before you ever say a word. As I work with venues across the country, helping them evaluate their tours, we found all the time that their tour presentation materials were lacking. I mean, if your Instagram doesn't look like a wedding venue, couples might assume it's not one. We see so many venues posting up close pictures of cake or people just dancing on the dance floor. And while these moments are important, they want to know what your spaces look like and how could they envision their wedding there. So you want to take the time to audit your visuals. Do they show real weddings, different layout options, your empty spaces, and your signature style as a venue? What does your venue look like upon first reaction? On to the E in relevance. And the next is about engagement. Relationships are going to drive referrals. You can't just send one email and expect planners, vendors, people you meet to remember you. So you've got to engage in your local wedding community. You want to show up at local networking events, comment on other people's posts on social media, collaborate on shoots. You've got to get involved. Are you in a community that doesn't really have local networking events? Host something your own venue. It doesn't have to be big, huge, incredible, over the top. It can just be a monthly coffee connect where you bring together other local pros and it starts to position you as a leader. The goal is about genuine connection, not just visibility for your venue. But by hosting something in your own space, you're engaging in your local community, and those people have an opportunity to come out to your venue, see what it looks like, take pictures, and post it on social. All of these things lead towards your venue becoming more relevant in your local market. The big one, V, is for visibility. You can't book what people don't actually see. Staying visible means being active in the right places, social media being a big part of them, the vendor conversations that are happening in local Facebook groups and wedding shows, even looking at participating once or twice a year in a styled shoot. You want to make sure that content of your venue is circulating in the exact same spaces where your ideal couples and your local planners are actually looking. So think about Instagram, TikTok, Facebook groups. Where are the places that couples are looking to find a venue like yours? Visibility is going to keep your name as a part of the conversation. The A stands for authority. You want to become the go-to venue in your area, and that doesn't happen by chance. It happens when you share your expertise. You're listening to this podcast and learning. Maybe you attend national conferences like Wedding MBA, or maybe you've even done one of our incredible courses at Venue Help Desk. Maybe you participate in online wedding industry summits where you gain new knowledge. Becoming the authority is what happens when you share your expertise and the knowledge that you've learned. When you look at the types of content you're putting on social media, are you posting ceremony timing tips, vendor load-in logistics, layout ideas for your space? That kind of helpful content builds trust fast, not only with your potential clients, but also with other pros within your local market. Authority isn't about bragging. It's demonstrating that you know your stuff about your local wedding industry. The N is about novelty. What's new, exciting, noteworthy about your venue right now? People love to share what feels fresh. Have you done any new renovations? Have you changed out any of the furniture? Do you have any new experience enhancements that you can talk about? You could feature a new ceremony site, a recent editorial shoot, or even a unique couple story that got married at your venue. Novelty sparks interest and gets other people talking again. The T is for trust, and this is what's going to tie it all together. Every single touch point for your venue, including pricing transparency, clear communication, punctuality to meetings, your professionalism. Any of those things can build or break the trust you've taken the time to build. For example, when a planner knows that you'll deliver flawlessly, they will refer your business over and over and over again. Trust is the very quiet engine behind every single referral and repeat bookings at your venue space. I know it's hard when you're sitting here listening to all of these different letters in the relevant framework, and you're thinking, okay, I do most of those things. But remember where this started? You were trying to figure out where are you falling behind. And not doing all of them and only doing some of them has become part of the problem. Look, I know you're booked. I know you're busy, but you're looking to grow. Your frustration was about, how do I get back out there? How do I stay top of mind? It's about designing your entire flow, including your customer journey, how you work with vendors and planners at your venue, looking at every step along the way, and where can you make tweaks and improvements and level things up just a little bit. Are you killing it on Instagram, but you're not on TikTok yet? You're missing an entire audience of both vendors and engaged couples that prefer TikTok over Instagram as a platform to consume content. Don't beat yourself up too much. I know it's a lot to handle, but 3 years ago, I was the first proponent to say to venues, you don't have to do all the things. You just have to pick a few things and go really deep and get really good at those. Unfortunately, that advice doesn't hold true anymore. In today's world, you really have to make sure you're showing up in all of the places. Focusing your energy in just one space or another is one of the reasons why you're falling behind. So that's the relevant framework. And here's the truth. Staying relevant isn't just about posting more on social media or changing your brand every few months. It's about making sure the experience you're creating for your couples and your vendor community continues to evolve right along with them. If this episode hits home and you're realizing that your customer experience might be part of what's holding you back, we've got 2 brand new courses that dive deep into those exact areas. The Lead Conversion Lab is all about tightening up that inquiry process, moving them through the funnel, communicating, following up, and converting them to a tour faster with the kind of couples you actually want, qualifying them along the way. And Tour to Yes Success takes them from the minute the tour is booked all the way through asking for the sale. If you've got people sitting in that funnel and they're just not moving, these courses are here to help you. Both courses were built to help venues strengthen the exact areas of the relevant framework that we talked about today: experience, engagement, and building trust. So if you're ready to dig deeper, head over to venuehelpdesk.com and learn more. And don't forget, we've got tons of resources waiting for you over on the website, including freebies that you can grab to help you become more relevant. If you love this episode, take 10 seconds to leave us a review. It really makes a big difference.